Welcome to Gospel and Grace, a podcast discussing theology and how it relates to life. My name is James Engel.
And I'm Chris Middleton. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
What's up, James?
None.
Nothing?
None.
What have you been doing this week?
Not a lotta.
Not a lotta? Okay.
Yeah,
well, that's fine.
Nothing.
Well, I'll talk about me then. So,
Okay.
You're over there in Squareville. My wife and I got to get away last weekend. Did you see our pictures on Facebook?
Yeah, I saw. I
Yeah.
liked them. You didn't notice my likes?
I do. Always notice your likes, man.
Because I constantly...
I'm just carrying on a conversation, James. I know you liked it.
Well, hey, just so you know, I found out on Facebook there's a way you can prioritize whose posts you see first. And when we first started this thing, I prioritized you.
You did?
Yeah. So
I'm a priority in your life?
You're a high priority. So every time I load up my news feed, whatever you posted, I'll usually see like one of the first few posts. So and honestly, I don't even think I have my wife set as a priority.
I didn't even know you could do that. See,
I didn't
that's
know either,
just something
but
else, man.
I just found out not too long ago, so I put you up there. So I don't think I have anyone else set. But I was like, oh, that's cool. So you mean I can skip all the stuff I don't want to see and get to the good stuff? So I was like, yeah, Chris has good stuff.
Well, that's kind of cool. We might talk a little bit about social media today. So yeah, it's a good plug.
But yeah, and I'll definitely repent and after this prioritize my wife.
Yeah.
But hey, the good thing is Facebook doesn't allow you to like rank them like this person's 1, that person's 2.
Right, yeah.
Because that'd be the end of like all social.
Yeah.
Like if they ever came out with a dislike button, could you imagine? Like someone
YouTube?
says my cat died and someone like dislikes that. It's like, what does that mean?
I mean, yeah.
But I feel weird liking that stuff. Like if someone says something tragic happened, like a family member got in a car wreck, they passed away. Like people will like it, and you know what they mean. But I feel weird personally to like that. I'll just leave a comment and let them know.
Well, now you have the little the different little faces. You got the one with the tear. You got the angry one, and you know,
yeah.
So you could do that. But I usually just hit the like button. Like if somebody says I need prayers for my little one, he has the flu or whatever, I usually just hit like. It's not that I like that he has the flu. It's just that I'm letting you know I'll pray for him or her. You know
well, let's hope they interpret it that way.
Well, they do, unless they're just want to be weird about it. Anyway, man. Yeah. So again, we got away. We had our boys' grandparents came up and stayed with us for a week, and so Sarah and I actually got to, have mom-dad time. Had to get away for a little bit. It was pretty nice. We don't get to do that often. So we went out to Red River Gorge and Natural Bridge State Park, and we camped and hiked and had a good old time. So
Nice. Well, that sounds
yeah, it was a pretty good time.
Yeah, I saw the video. You got that new GoPro.
It's not. It's actually I've had it for a long time. It's not even a GoPro. I call it a No Pro. Because it's like a knockoff version of a GoPro. And you can kind of tell the picture's not as clear and as bright as a regular GoPro. But you know what?
Gosh.
It was only GoPros are what? $200 to $400 pretty much.
Probably,
this was like $60. And, anyway. But it does what I need it to do. I'm not trying to, be a top-notch cinematographer or anything.
We don't have to. It's just for video.
Yeah. But anyway, it does what I need it to do. I can also stick it on my kayak. I plan on making some fishing videos, but...
if I want to learn how to fish, we're watching instruct. Well, welcome, guys, to today. Chris and...
Not like that. Just like videos of my fishing adventures, not instructional how-to.
When you sling this crankbait, you got to get a good you got to set the hook right, and in order to do that, you have to have develop some forearm muscles and get a tight grip. Usually 2 hands, preferably, but if you're like me, you could use 1 hand.
Okay. Oh man. So anyway, that's pretty much all that's going on with me, man. So there's nothing new with you? Nothing new in Jamestown?
I don't know. Not really. I'm just working my tail off, and I got a few extra days off. I know my in-laws will be or if they're outlaws. It just depends on how I feel about them.
Yeah.
But either my in-laws or my outlaws will be coming in this weekend, so we're pretty pumped about that. And yeah, just I guess kicking back, enjoying the time I do have off work, just spending with Maggie and Evelyn. Oh well, I guess yeah, I'm free to announce now what the
yeah.
Yeah, so Evelyn's nickname is Peanut, and we nicknamed the new baby New Nut. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we found out the gender, so we're having
you're hearing it here first, folks.
No, that's not true. Our family already knows.
Okay.
We wouldn't do that. That'd be terrible. But no, we're having another girl, so we're gonna have all girls.
2 little ladies.
Yep, that's right.
That's awesome, man.
So there's going to be plenty of daddy-daughter dates in the future. So.
Yeah, there will be. You're outnumbered big time now.
Daddy-daughters dates. Man, that's going to be expensive.
Yeah, it sounds expensive.
It's like I buy one a dress or something like that. Daddy, I want a dress too.
You know, I don't think it's cheaper to have boys, though. The stuff they want is just as pricey. You know, they want like outdoor stuff, and they need all this baseball gear and stuff. It's just as expensive.
Yeah, I know. My father-in-law. He had his T-shirt said first bank of dad.
Yeah.
I'm starting to understand that.
Yeah.
A little more.
Yeah. Well, and yours is still little.
I know.
Until they are, teenagers, man.
Well, the cool thing though is since it's a girl, like all the clothes and toys and different stuff we bought for Evelyn, now it's hand-me-downs, man.
Oh, so yeah,
especially
that's
diapers.
nice.
Like we saved up and we found a way to clean all the old ones, so we can still reuse.
You're gonna have 2 girls. I have 2 boys. So we could just trade a kid. And so we have one of each.
We could do that.
Yeah, but I don't know. You'd probably return mine pretty quick. They get kind of rowdy sometimes. Oh man.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, man. So we're recording. So what are we doing?
Yeah, I guess we kind of had the idea to throw around the topic of the gospel and social media, like how social media has actually been a useful tool for the church when used correctly to spread the gospel to the nations and even people here in America. A lot of their first encounters or the first time they hear the gospel is because of social media. So It's pretty amazing. So let's talk about that, James.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because I find that we have such an easy way to communicate now. I mean, you think not even like 200 years ago, there was no phones, there was no internet. If you wanted to talk to someone, you had to write a letter. And whether it was by horseback or whatever, like it took a long time just to do a simple message. Where today, no thought goes into it. If I want to throw up like maybe something I learned from the Bible, I can easily just type that out, share it. All my friends are going to see it, and then oftentimes friends of those friends will see it. So we never truly know how far what we share is going to go. And it's not just to people we know, like literally people. For example, like on Facebook, and I'm sure everyone does too, but I got friends from other countries.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're not directly my friend, but maybe my wife knows them, like missionary couples or whatever. And it's just we live in a day and age where you can share something and it can go across the world and back in seconds.
I know we have some people from Ireland that listen to our podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Really?
Really?
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah. So I mean, and of course, yes, and I'm friends with many people from different countries on Facebook now, and then you're part of these groups also. That speaking of social media, what are you doing over there? Are you tweeting?
No, man. I'm using the ESV app. I have some passages in mind that I just wanted to
get ready. Put in your holster,
dude. I'm ready. I'm gonna sling some word up, son.
All right, sling it.
Well, I'm not ready yet. That's why.
I thought you said you were ready.
No, I'm looking it up, man. I don't have it memorized.
Loser.
I can't be like smart like you.
All right. Well, anyway, so what I was saying is, with the click of a button, we can share the gospel with somebody across the world. Used to, It took thousands of dollars and sending missionaries and all. And now, don't get me wrong, we still need to do that. We still need to give to missions and send missionaries to every part of the world. But, this social media and the internet is just an added tool through God's common grace that He's given us to share the gospel, grow His church, and gain dominion across the world. So, are you ready yet, James?
I don't know. Well, I was just looking up, because I read recently, for example, Psalm 22, verse 27, it says, "All the ends of the earth shall remember and turn to the Lord, and all the families of the nations shall worship before you." And there's multiple texts just talking about how the gospel is going to go to all sorts of peoples, nations, tribes, tongues, redeeming them. And, how is that going to happen? Well, one of the ways that's going to happen is it's very easy to see today that the gospel, it's not limited as much anymore. Before, it was just limited because, if there's people groups we didn't even know existed.
Yeah, just geographical limitations.
Yeah, but the majority of the world has computer and internet access today, so they're able to plug in and be exposed to things they would never before ever know about. Of course, there's still many people groups that don't have access.
Well, think about this, too. Even those people groups that don't have access, they can't click on a page and see the gospel. But you know what can happen through social media? Is we can share this unreached people group with other people across the world, and more people are made aware of this unreached people group, so then they can actually go in there and share the gospel with them. So they're still benefiting from social media, even though they don't have internet.
Yeah, no, it's so true, and it's just that I've been thinking through a lot lately, just how do we even use social media, because I feel like we've been given a great responsibility, and we can use it well. I know for you and us doing this podcast, it's very easy to find a little bit of time to sit down and talk about stuff. And honestly, I have no idea how many people it's going to impact, what it's going to do in the end. But all I know is that if it were not for the internet, there's no way we could do this and have anyone hear it. It would just be impossible. But now we live in a day and age where this is very possible. Anyone can do it. As a Christian, if you want to witness to people, you're not limited to just the people you know in your community or to do, just outreaches. We should still do that, of course. But yeah, like I said, you can tweet stuff. You can send a picture of something. You can make a video, YouTube channels. There's so much. And I know one thing I'm often tempted to believe is that, if I share something, it's not really going to be used, or it doesn't matter. But then I always have to remind myself that the way God saved me was through MySpace. It was through a video I saw on MySpace.
Really?
Back when that was popular. So for anyone who doesn't know what that is, that's like old school Facebook, like before Facebook existed, before there was light.
I never did the MySpace thing, but yeah.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, just by someone putting up a video of the gospel on their website, I clicked it, watched it, and God used that to convert me. And so here I am today. And even today, I'm tempted sometimes to think simple things like, hey, we do this gospel and grace thing. Is it really going to do anything as far as converting people or anything to that degree? And I always have to remind myself, it's like, well, if God can use MySpace, He can use Gospel and Grace, He can use Facebook, He can use me just sharing a testimony of how maybe my wife and I were praying about something and God answered that prayer, and someone may read that, look at that, and be like, wow, I've been doing the same. You just have no idea.
And think about it, we're getting closer and closer to 1,000 downloads for Gospel and Grace Radio, and I guarantee you, out of those thousands, that 1,000 people, there's a lot of people that's never heard an actual, true biblical gospel presentation. Yeah. And if they're listening to the show, I hope that they have heard that. I feel like they have. So that's just another example of. Well, and you said it earlier. It's like that. We've been given all these things, all these tools. What are we doing with them? I feel like, maybe when we do stand before God someday and He said, listen, you had everything at your fingertips. You had this amount of time. You had all these different resources. What did you do with it? What did you do with all this that I gave you?
Yeah.
To advance the kingdom, to spread the word, to share Jesus with people. What did you do with it? And now, I'm not saying that that's all we do with social media. I mean, I'm not saying you can't post a picture of your kid eating an ice cream cone. That's cute. People want to see that. I post stuff like that all the time.
Yeah.
But it is, if you're a Christian, you should want to share, the gospel on your pages, and because I promise you, you have a lot of friends and family probably on your Facebook and your Twitter if you're a tweeter, Instagram, whatever you use. You have contacts on there that are not saved.
Yeah.
You do. So, yeah, just don't worry about it. People aren't going to like it as much. Like I said, I can post a picture of a hamburger that I'm eating for lunch, and I'll get 50 likes on that thing. And I can post a picture of, I can share a Bible verse or, something about the gospel, and it might get 4. But you know what? Everybody, or most of the people that saw that hamburger are also seeing the gospel there.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That can be really discouraging because, you post a hamburger, everyone loves it. You're really popular over that. It almost feels good. It's like, yeah, that was
people
funny.
like my burgers.
People like my burgers, and I'm so happy about it. But then you post something serious that really matters, and. Yeah, like no one, I can't tell you how many posts I have where I know this is truth. I know this is real. This is more important than anything else, and no one likes it. And I'm tempted to be discouraged because you kind of look at that and sometimes you take it personally, but I have to remind myself exactly what you said. Everyone that saw the hamburger is seeing that too. Oftentimes people just don't want to like something, or they'll also, it's weird too the way people work, because if you see a post where everyone likes it, you're almost immediately like, oh, I'll like that too.
Oh, I know,
I'm gonna
man.
join
it's
in
so
on
silly.
That. But if you're the first person to like it, you feel like you're isolated, like everyone's gonna know that I liked that. And no one else did, and I don't want to be the only, and it's stupid, but that's how sometimes I think. That's why I'm saying that. And I know other people do the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, just going back to it's just funny. I would really encourage, do not be afraid to post truth, or to, for example, when I was first saved, I had all my friends I knew from high school on there, and everything else. I was able to on Facebook to post up my testimony and show the same video that I saw that converted me as a way to witness to all my friends and say, hey, please give this the time to look at. It changed my life. I'd love for you guys to look at it and to, and so I sent that to over, I don't know, 300, whoever I knew at the time, and they all got it. Now, a lot of people ignored it, but what was funny is during this entire time of sharing, I was a new Christian. I'm starting to post stuff that I never posted before. So all my friends, most of them are not Christians. Or if they are a Christian, it's just more because, well, my parents go to church, but they're not genuinely a Christian. They just kind of identify themselves.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, no one's commenting on any of my stuff, and I'm constantly posting scripture and videos and all this stuff. And I'm tempted to despair, but what happens is over time, people come out of the woodwork. I remember one particular guy from high school, didn't even talk to him that much. He had something horrible happen in his life. Someone died, and he was actually responsible for the death. It was an accident, but it happened, and he was really rattled up about it. Guess who was the first person he contacted? It was me.
That's awesome.
And we weren't even that close of friends, but he knew that, yeah, I know from what the things James posts that he's a Christian, that he's genuine, and that he's going to have answers. Because what he told me was really sad, but he said that basically he's all my friends are just going to want me to, and he was talking about stuff like they're going to tempt me to go to drugs, they're going to tempt me to do this, they're not really there to support me, and I need someone to talk to who understands, and I just don't know what to do. And he's like, could you please help me? And it's moments like that you just realize it's yeah, you know what?
People are seeing it.
Yeah, when push comes to shove, people know, they see that stuff, and it's times like that that the Lord will use you in just unbelievable ways. And there's been a lot of times just like that. Like people, you never talk to, they never like your stuff, but when they need someone to talk to, they're like, yeah, that guy, I know just from reading the stuff he posts that he's mature enough that I can get counseling from him. So yeah, I just want to throw that out there too.
Yeah. So anyway, so don't be discouraged to post biblical things, post truth. You know what? You may not get any likes, but that's not why we do it. We don't do it to get likes. We do it to share truth. That's what we have to remember. Likes and happy faces and emojis make us feel good and fuzzy inside. We're not posting truth in order to be rewarded with, likes and smiley faces. We're posting truth for the sake of truth because we love our neighbor and we want them to know the gospel. Yeah. So, and anyway, back to the greatness and the blessing of social media.
Yeah.
Is, let's just think about this. So, back to the click of a button thing, get to the nations. Like, I could be sitting here and I've never actually been in a chat room or anything like that, but through maybe Facebook or Instant Messenger or something like that, I can communicate with a person in China that doesn't even speak English, and of course I don't speak Chinese, but we can get a translation app or whatever in there, and I can share the gospel with that person.
Yep.
All right? And then what happens then? If he's truly regenerated, he's truly converted, he's going to tell somebody about it over there.
Yeah.
And then that person's going to tell some people, and then those people are going to tell more people, and it just happens. I just randomly picked China, but China is the fastest. Christianity is growing there faster than anywhere else in the world right now.
Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing. But
so basically what you're saying is we don't need to send out missionaries anymore because of social media has replaced that.
No, we definitely need to send missionaries and give to missions. Nothing will ever replace that. I mean, we're commanded to go and tell. We're not commanded to click a button.
No, I jokingly say that,
Yeah.
but that's probably the temptation of some people. It's like, well, what's the point of like sacrificing everything, laying down my life, and moving someplace else to share the gospel when, yeah, James, yeah, Chris, you're right, I could just post on Facebook and stay comfortable all my life.
No, here, I guess the way I'd put that is, if you're called for a life of missionary sacrifice, God bless you, and we thank you. And go do it. But not everybody's called to that. Not everybody's called to pack up their family and move to Africa or move to, Asia or anywhere else in the world.
Canada.
But however, every Christian is called to love their neighbor and share the gospel with them. And one way we can do that, one way we can reach a mass number of people is through social media. And again, it's out of God's common grace that we have it. It's out of His providence. It's part of, it might sound silly to say that social media is part of God's sovereign plan, but obviously there's nothing outside of His sovereign reign. So of course it is. And it is a tool, I believe, that, when all things are said and done, the gospel would have reached millions, if not billions, of people through it.
Yeah, exponentially, it just increases the capacity to spread stuff super fast. Literally, like, you can post a video sharing the gospel or just something, and within minutes, people can. It's just insane.
They can share it to their page.
Is what they call it.
Yeah,
and it just explodes, and not just confined to the people you know. And so, it's a thing where, as a Christian, we have to steward the gifts of God well, and social media is definitely a gift from God that we are able to use, and to be a little more intentional about it, and to think through, with the gifts that God has given me and my abilities, and what I kind of can't do. How can I increase my capacity to be effective? And that's an easy way to do it. It's like, maybe because of health problems and whatnot, you're confined that you can't go out and do stuff. Like maybe you're getting older in life, and your youth's behind you, and you don't have the ability to just get up and go and do all these things. Well, you can still be very effective in social media. Anyone can be. And yeah, it's just an area where, again, I've been asking in my life. It's like, I'm really excited we're doing this podcast, but even more so, it's like, we got a website, we're on all these social media outlets, but I'm still always thinking through, like, how can we do this better? How can we reach even more people? And yeah, it never stops.
If our listeners will share it.
Oh, if you're not sharing,
if you ain't sharing, you ain't caring. That's right.
Because it rhymes. No, that's just, you don't have to share it, but you should.
What are you drinking over there, James? That's not coffee.
No, this is a Monster energy drink that...
Monster? What flavor is that? Is that the regular?
It's a Battlefield 1 flavor.
Battlefield 1? Is that an actual flavor? Or is that just,
no, it just
advertising
has,
that?
It has Battlefield 1 on the can. No, it's, I don't know, Absolutely Zero. I have no idea.
Oh, that's the diet version.
I don't always drink these things, but when you want me to wake up super early to do this thing, I need something more than coffee. I'm sorry. I do.
Yeah, I don't really care for Monster that much. I'm more of a Red Bull guy, but, teach their own.
Everything with you is just so different. It's like if I'm Nike, you're Columbia. If I'm Monster,
I'm
you're
sorry.
Red Bull. If I'm an Apple computer, you're a HP.
It's a HP because I can't afford an Apple computer like you, James. You got it. All right. Are we done?
Yeah, we done, son.
All right. This one wasn't very long today.
Well, they don't have to be long, but I think, we got the point across. We just wanted to throw up the idea of social media and the gospel, and how just sharing a Bible verse, just sharing your testimony, even just passing along a video that you found to be helpful, or, they even have one of the greatest things that God used in my life are what they call sermon jams. They're just different preachers and teachers that they cut down their sermon to maybe just like a 3 or 5 minute chunk that was really good. And, they kind of edit it up a little bit, doctor it up, but they're, I watch those things like over and over again as a new Christian. And most of my discipleship, sadly, didn't come from a local church in the beginning. It came from the internet, watching guys like Paul Washer, Tim Keller, John Piper, John MacArthur, R.C. Sproul, like all these big colossal internet giants that I'm just kidding. But guys like that, I was able to listen to their preaching and teaching and learn and grow. And then when I finally did find a local church, God began to use that as well. But yeah.
All right.
Mic drop.
Be sure to head over to gospelandgraceradio.com. You can hit us up on social media, guys. That's, at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram /Gospel and Grace. We have a YouTube channel. It's Gospel and Grace. All our episodes are loaded up there. James has brand new capri pants that he's excited about, and a man bag.
Don't listen to him. Lies. All lies.
I'm just kidding. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Hey, share it. Share it with people. Like our page. And don't be afraid to reach out to us. We love answering your questions and interacting with you. You can do that through Facebook Messenger. We, of course, go to our Facebook page. Or if you're friends with me or James, you can hit us up through our personal Facebook pages. And, of course, you can go to our website, gospelandgraceradio.com, and you can comment and sign up for our weekly newsletter. Every time we drop a new show or post a blog, you'll be the first to know.
Yeah. So, no pressure, but since we talked about the gospel on social media, and you are listening to this Gospel and Grace, it would kind of be almost sinful.
No, James.
Sinful to not share this on your social media. I mean, It's just a click of a button, folks.
That's all it is.
I mean, I'm not asking you to, like, get uncomfortable or to do anything.
If you want to live in blatant, unrepentant sin, don't share it.
Well, consider
If
this.
you love Jesus, share. No, we're just kidding, guys. But
Well, in all seriousness, think of the final day. You're going to stand before Jesus, and he's going to ask you about that time you listened to Gospel and Grace. And the Lord was speaking.
oh, man.
Was speaking through us to you to tell you that you need to be stewarding social media better. And you decided that you weren't going to take the time.
To hit that share button.
I mean, that's all I'm saying.
But 5 minutes later, you post a picture of your popsicle.
No.
We're kidding, guys.
I'm kidding.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Love y'all.
See you later.
Later.